One, two. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Let's Talk Football NFC South Takeover with 2 out of 4 of your hosts, myself, Kyle Yacey, and Mrs. Nicole Klychak. Nicole, how is your night going?
It's going pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Wednesday in the middle of the week. We had the last week. It's a new week in the NFL.
I definitely agree. It's ladies and gentlemen, we're usually on Tuesday nights at 7:30 Eastern, 5:30 Mountain Standard Time. It's been a crazy week for all of us, but we still wanted to make sure that you got your NFC South news, so that's important. But regardless, it was a very lackluster week for my Falcons, and your Saints, I feel, are about the same.
Yep. We do. Yeah, that definitely happened. We don't have any winners here, so
yeah, it's tough.
we
It's
took
tough.
the L.
Well, what happened? I didn't catch too much of your game when you guys played the Steelers, but it's funny now. The Steelers have handed our division 2 straight losses. So, is there something to be said about the Pittsburgh Steelers and just being underestimated, or?
No. So we lost. Well, just to recap for you guys that don't know, we lost to the Steelers at the Steelers. It was 2010. Like it was 2010. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, but done.
But yeah, I'm not used to seeing them play outside, so that was cool. That was not cool though. Us, they did lose 2 points with Mr. Wright because, as Mark said, it was he kicked and it went wide left. So that's their kicker. So they lost. So we could have had them because even their kicker fell through a little bit, which was great. But I mean, the rushing yards, that's what really killed us. We had 29 rushing yards.
Nice.
Guess how many rushing yards they had? 162.
Close. It's pretty comparable, I guess, eh?
29? Like
it's in the ballpark, I guess, right? Like
I guess so. And also too, what I thought was kind of weird was that Callaway was healthy, but he got benched by the coach.
Yeah. Why they do that? Is any reasoning behind that, or?
The Saints Nation, from what I've seen on some Facebook groups, they're saying that there is some inner side, coaching and relations. We can all talk about that. Oh, hi. But we'll talk probably about that later for sure. We did sack him 6 times, and Gigi Sid is another Let's Talk Football member, and yeah, I guess they got us. We also got 10 penalties for 74 yards, and that was the most other than playing the Vikings that we've gotten in a game.
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, it was a week, I guess, for you guys too, unfortunately, right? But I don't know. I still think there's something to be said about the Pittsburgh Steelers this season. Regardless of their record, they're definitely putting up a fight, and they're definitely winning some surprising games, even though they are rated right now to have a pretty high draft pick. It's tough. It's tough to see. We had the primetime game on Thursday night. I actually, unfortunately, missed half of it because I do have a lot on the go. Obviously, I told you earlier I'm moving, and it's been a lot of work. But honestly, I almost kind of wish I didn't even watch the game. Unfortunately, it was very, very lackluster, and I don't know. There were some glimpses of hope that I did see during that game. Like, don't get me wrong, it was nice to see Marcus Mariota throw a little bit more than what he usually was throwing. So I definitely was pretty happy about that. He definitely had a little bit of a push at the end of the game, but just some of the plays that were made and just for some of the throws that were made, they were just, I don't know, it was unbelievable. I wasn't impressed, and to be quite honest with you, even leaving that game, don't get me wrong, I fully think that we potentially have the team to go and win the South, like without a doubt. But with that performance that I saw on Thursday, in my opinion, I don't think we deserved it if that's how we're going to play. There's a lot to be said about it, but yeah, we lost 25-15 to the Carolina Panthers, and it was a very easy win. We definitely could have done that, but we let them run right through us, and that was pretty much the end of the tale. So there wasn't too much good that I saw out of that game. I can honestly say that I left it pretty disappointed. So,
But I'm just looking at a third viewer person here.
yep.
Says you guys had more passing yards.
True. It's an improvement. It's an improvement. Don't get me wrong.
I'm
A lot of
looking at the
came-
silver lining.
the silver lining. That's right. Look at the positivities. You're not wrong. I definitely think for sure. Like there is, like I said, there was some positivity in the game. Like towards the end of the game, Marcus Mariota had an unbelievable drive that led to a touchdown. That was awesome to see that. I can't remember. I believe it might have been to Drake London. I know Drake London got a touchdown. I was pretty happy about that. I believe that was the play too. Comment section, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, it wasn't good, honestly. But I guess leading into that, my studs and my duds. My stud would be Drake London, actually.
Yeah.
So it's really tough. He did bounce back, especially from last week's fumble. I think that's awesome. Considering that we were in the red zone and he went and fumbled the ball, that was just, it's not something you need to do as a wide receiver, especially when you're that close to a drive to win.
He's a rookie.
Yeah, it's you can't give up balls like that for sure.
Yeah.
So, again, I don't have too much positive in this game, and like weather conditions definitely can factor into this, considering it was pouring weather outside. So, yeah, it was nice to see though our number one, overall pick get another touchdown. So I am liking that. I believe right now he has, I think, 3 on the year. So for his rookie season, he's not doing bad, and he keeps on, staying in that top 5 rookie spot. So it's good to see that he's performing. And actually, up to this point, fun fact, he hasn't had a drop, which is pretty impressive, actually, considering he's a rookie. So
10 games. Yeah. Well, everyone has their first beginnings, That's what I like about kind of the rookies from what I've been seeing.
Yeah.
It's just the start.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like a lot of the wide receiver rookies right now are balling out, actually. Like Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Drake London. Actually, even last game, I'm not sure if you caught the Green Bay game with Christian Watson too. He got 3 touchdowns, right? Like these wide receiver class, like they're doing very, very well. Actually, the last couple have been pretty impressive. Even with the last one with like Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and Devontae Smith, like the wide receivers lately that have been coming out of college have been absolutely just nuts. So, but I guess, yeah, that was my stud. Unfortunately, my dud though, my dud is going to be Younghoe Koo, and it's Younghoe Koo not for the reason previously where he didn't get a lot of kicks, but he missed 2 extra point attempts, and you can't be doing that. I understand weather, and again, it was pouring. It wasn't like it was drizzling outside. Like the field was soaked. It was brutal. So you can't be giving it, like you can't be missing points like that. There's nothing else really to say about it. It's unfortunate, but yeah, he's definitely on the lower end of it lately. So, but yeah,
it's kind of funny with our studs and duds. Well, next, we give the stars and the duds to whoever we are in that moment.
Yeah.
Last week they could have been a star, but now
that's exactly it. It's a week to week thing, and especially with our division. It's not what we want it to be, obviously. So you got to look at the positive, when there's not much to look at. But again, there are some glimpses of hope, and I've used that term a lot, especially in this segment. But that is to look forward to in the upcoming future, right? Like there are good building blocks that are going to set the tone for like years and years to come. So that is something to definitely keep in consideration for sure too, right? But what about you?
Well, I'm trying to even look up and remember of how many. When have we ever had like, 7 losses?
Yeah, it's been a bit.
It's been a long time. So I mean, I'm in like, okay, let's remodel the house. Let's
Yeah.
do that.
Oh, is that why you changed around your view and everything? And you
Yes,
had the
let's
flag in the background.
remodel. I'm not saying anything, but coming up, I do have a list
Oh,
of, yeah,
oh, oh! You
a
have a guest
list.
coming up.
Well, no, it's a list, but it's not a Christmas list.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I, I, is it a naughty or nice list?
It's an everything you need to do to get to the playoffs list.
I like that. I like that. I might take that from you actually. So,
Yes. But yeah, I guess for the Panthers, I guess just shed a little bit of. I guess they won. I guess I
yeah,
shouldn't rub that in.
yeah. Go ahead. No, it's deserving. I'm fully going to embrace that. We did not play well, so, um,
And the
yeah.
Bucks lost in Germany too.
No, Bucks won in Germany.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
The
Well,
Bucks won in
see, this
Germany.
is me dreaming.
Yeah, I know. It's like the worst possible case scenario. Don't worry. Like I definitely understand for
So
sure.
they are also two top of the division.
Yeah.
We don't have anyone here to speak on that. Maybe they
I
are being humble.
yeah, maybe potentially. I did see actually some of the game a little bit. Julio Jones did get a touchdown, so that's
Yes, yeah,
nice.
I heard
Yeah,
Julio
that's good.
Jones was pretty active.
Yeah, Tom Brady is doing Tom Brady things, so there's definitely some highlights in that game. There was a lot of controversy with that game. I don't want to touch too much on it because I know we have a whole segment on that later.
Yes.
But yeah, like no, it's they're saying that jet lag is apparently a factor in all of this, but I don't
I
want to
didn't.
digress too much.
Okay, cool.
But who are your studs though?
My okay, so I am a very positive person, so I still see the silver lining.
I love it.
And I'm gonna give it up to Juwan Johnson.
Oh yeah,
He, yeah, I haven't seen him do that. He got a touchdown, and I was
that's
like,
a new
who's
one.
this guy? Apparently, he's a tight end. His number's 83. He played college at Penn State and Oregon, and they signed with him undrafted free agent in 2020.
Nice.
Uh, so he got like 18 yards in the second with 21 seconds left to bring it in. And it was first. Yeah. And he got, after that, 1 touchdown with 44 yards. So I think he's a good contributor as a tight end that I think, don't have to rely on Mr.
Yeah.
Hill as being such a tight end anymore.
Well, and that's the thing too is like everybody knows at this point that Taysom Hill is a weapon, right? So any
Mm-hmm.
kind of pressure that you can take off of him, and if you can get that dual tight end,
Yeah.
that's all ultimately what you want to do. And I know for a fact, even from having a coach Arthur Smith who is heavy on the tight ends, right? That's absolutely a key thing that you want in any game. In my opinion, honestly, I've said this on many platforms that a tight end, that position in particular, is a very underutilized position.
Mm-hmm.
It's easily can be a third wide receiver.
They're large, athletic people.
Well, and that's the thing is a good tight end, in my opinion. And again, anybody can go and correct me on this, but a good tight end is good at blocking, but they're also good at catching. And essentially, like a good tight end is a universal position. Like they're going to be running, they're going to be catching, and they're going to be blocking. So it's very, very, very important, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes, Travis Kelce so good. That's what makes George Kittle so good. That's what makes Mark Andrews so good, right? So that's what we want Kyle Pitts obviously to be, but he's still pretty young. It's only his second year, but he's got all of the genetics to go about and be that type of tight end. It just we haven't quite seen that from him yet. So
Yeah.
no, that's awesome.
My dud.
Yep.
Womp womp womp. That's my soundboard kid.
When's it out of cook for
Dennis
that?
Allen. Uh,
Wow.
Dennis Allen. Did you hear
Call,
that? I mean,
yeah, calling Dennis Allen.
Dennis Allen. Uh,
Allen.
this is the second time he's been a dud of mine.
Yeah, like
Um,
wasn't he your dad last week as well?
no. I had a lot of dubs. I'm gonna make a montage of how many duds and studs.
We should on it. You know
uh,
what? At the end of the year, we should honestly do that.
yes, let's do it. Um, yeah, he. Everyone's talking about let's get a new coach. Like let's move
Yeah.
him back maybe to just defensive coordinator again. Um, we needed something needs to change. This is not use for a franchise thing for us, and I know we're working things out is all I gotta say.
Yeah.
But we had, we had 19 false starts. The league average
Wow.
is 10.44. So we're tied for worst in the league with Denver.
Gee, that's a very, very bad hill to be on right now.
There was also we got 12 defensive holding, and the league average is 3.97. We're the worst in the league with the Colts behind us at 9.
Wow.
So it's more so it's all our false starts, and I'm breaking it down. Yeah, I'm breaking it down. It's the false starts, it's the defensive holding in our penalties, and then 8 offensive holding. So
Wow.
we're tied with LA Rams and the Eagles at 8.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's a little bit to do with the management.
Yeah. Are you blaming a lot of it on the coach? Like, do you question potentially the offensive coordinator then as well, or the defensive coordinator? Or are you just going
It's a
straight
hard
to Dennis
adjustment
Allen?
as a fan. I'm getting hard critiqued because I'm new to this. Like I've only been with the Saints for, a decade, let's just say.
That's a longer fan than I've been actually for as a Falcons fan. I've only been a Falcons fan for pretty much 8 years actually.
Yeah. So, there's I've only seen a little bit of the dynasty and like what things, and apparently I just came in after Sean Payton got like banned from the NFL.
Yeah, there's
And
a
they're
whole
like, "What? You're a
Netflix.
States fan? Do you know
There's a
what's going
Netflix
on?" I'm
movie
like,
on that.
"No, I have no idea." But I mean, it's coming to do off of having like such a really great like. How do you fill Sean Payton's shoes
Well, I
with the
think
team? You know,
I think in my opinion, Nicole, that's what makes a very good dynasty though. You know what I mean?
hmm
Is you have such a strong, coaching staff, or you have a very strong, offense and defense that you can plug and play people, right? Like that's what makes these teams really, really good. Like if you look
we have a Saints song named after Sean Payton. We have a Sean Payton dance.
well, and don't get me wrong, he's a great coach. Absolutely, Sean Payton was a great
Mhm.
coach, and I hate saying that because we had to play him, at least twice a year. It was terrible, but he he was in the Saints organization for a very long time, right? So like, why weren't more people developed? Like, how long was Dennis Allen with the Saints? Like, is this new for him? Like, did he just step into the role? I guess that's something maybe to
I
take back, but
It's true. He was a defensive coordinator that like was underneath him. So you'd think that that relationship was kind of already there, but it might be a different, and like people who probably coach or play football might have a different perspective on the dynamics of being from a defensive coach to, an offense coach. But
yeah.
there's Saturday and he's a player and he's like,
I
I'm
was
your
just gonna
coach.
mention. So, what's your view then on Jeff Saturday? Like, a player stepping up to the plate when, like, actually, I guess this is there's no reason saying that we can't talk about this, but like, is that really the direction that people should be going? And what is that saying for, I guess, other organizations, right? That have those offensive or defensive coordinators that are looking to take that extra step, then to become a head coach. Like, is that
If
proper?
coaches can become, broadcasters in
Yeah.
Fox, then who's to say a player can't be a coach?
Yeah, you're not
That's
wrong.
my
Honestly.
thing.
In ways too, I actually kind of I do agree with it. I like the outside the box thinking actually with the Indianapolis Colts. Players firsthand get to see a lot what we don't get to see. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure coaches see a lot more what's behind the scenes. You can kind of go back and forth with that as you wish, but um, the players are physically on the field, like they're seeing what's happening, in real time, obviously, and coaches see it from an angle, but experiencing it is a different story. So I do like that the Colts kind of took a risk and went that direction. And now I'm kind of thinking to myself, are other teams going to look at potentially making, the same kind of changes? Like, I know Tom Brady did go and sign a broadcasting deal. I can't remember if it's with CBC
Mhm.
or something. I don't remember where he's reporting, but um, like, does I don't know, do you see maybe Joe Flacco go and coach? Or, do you go and see, Ben
Drew
Roethlisberger step
Brees.
back in and coach? Like, where
That'd be
does it kind
fun.
of transpire now, right?
Well, oh, this could link in so much segue into some discoveries.
Oh yeah, no,
Um,
I definitely agree. Well, that's exactly it, right? It's just interesting, and this is why I really like the NFL,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a crazy time. It's definitely a crazy time. But yeah, even going back to my game, the one thing that I will say is, I'll give away my be humble. Again, actually, I'm pretty sure this is my last week too. Is that Dante Foreman? Like, man, that guy is a stud, absolute stud. Like, he breaks tackles like nothing. He gives me those Derrick Henry-esque vibes. And it really sucks because he was a Falcon last year, and he did actually have some
Mm,
times where he shined and he balled out, right? But I know there was a lot of structure change and there was a lot going on during that time, especially with the new coaching changes, the new GM, and so on and so forth. But um, he was great. He had 31 carries, he ran 130 yards, receiving yards he got, and he got a touchdown again. Like, that's unbelievable, right? The
mm.
guy is absolutely, like, he's a weapon and a half. And if I was Carolina, I'd want to keep him.
So it was an interdivision trade.
Yeah, it was an interdivision trade. Like, so we
Oh,
only signed him, I believe, for a 1 year. Um, but again, like, the unfortunate part about coaching and management changes is you will see an organization to organization that good players will fall through the cracks. Unfortunately, that's the reality. I know right now the Bears are going through it. I believe or was it the Bears? It might be the Ravens with Zadarius Smith. He's a really good defensive player, and he's been like a top sack leader for a bit, at least in like the running for like pretty much the last like few years. And like, that's a regret that the Ravens have as well, right? So it sucks, right?
mhm.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate to see, but I'm happy he's getting the attention that he deserves. The only thing that I wonder now, though, is I know this might be humble for Dante Foreman, but it raises a question that is it going to be the same kind of scenario with CMC, right? Like, sure, this guy is showing that right now he is your
Mm,
star, and
yeah.
he's taking away the pressure from DJ Moore. But are you just going to end up overusing him then, like you've been using with CMC? And are you just going to keep running him to the point where he's going to have an injury and have to go on IR for 4 weeks? Like, that's what I'm
I
wondering.
I think this just in, there's been some news that the team says that's good. They like him.
Okay.
But I think having your machine as a well oiled and having different outlooks and like you said, different stress points, you know, it's getting that experience out there even still. So
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
because that's also too what I've come to know and being like, oh, well, how many starts did they have? And like, I guess starts are a lot different in having more confidence in where they stand
Yeah.
comparatively. I don't know. This is the next discovery.
I think it's there's a lot of things to starts, right? Like, obviously starting a game as a player, like, you are confident in that player that they're gonna perform in that role, right? But at the same time, that's also why you have a wide receiver group, right?
Mhm.
You have them so you can rotate them. So then that way, you don't just keep going and like letting him get hit and get hit and get hit and get hit. And then what ends up happening, unfortunately, is that's when the injuries happen, right? The whole point of having, that depth chart is to, be confident in your players. Sure, you have a number 1, 2, and 3 that are ranked, right? But at the same time, the whole reason for it is, you don't want them to get hurt. You don't want to see the stars get hurt. Like, even look what just happened with Cooper Kupp, right? Cooper Kupp is now on IR
Yeah.
for the Los Angeles Rams.
See,
And
it's hard. You can't gamble. Like, I mean, it is more so a gamble, but is there, I guess every coach has a different line where they kind of maybe, I guess, understand it more of a personal health level of where people are playing at to know. Because I'm still kind of like curious about Callaway and him. So I was like, this is perfect. Like, we still have people on injury. You
yep.
know, like, is it on players getting frustrated and being like, put me in, coach, and being like, I need that highlight because I'm like either say like a rookie or like new. I don't know. This is a whole. I digress.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I totally get you. It's there's a lot to talk about with it for sure. No, I absolutely agree. But who's your be humble, Nicole?
Well, I see. This is good because we're still keeping it in the division that
Yeah.
you give it to the Panthers. I give it to this guy over there.
Oh, I like it.
And Mr. White, for the Bucks, because
Yeah, he
everyone will
called
say
out.
Julio. That's why I thought everyone's humble moment was going to be if everyone was on. But I'm not saying Julio. I'm giving it to him. And there's two that I found out, and I'm talking about the running back.
Okay.
So it's Rashad White
Yeah.
from. Oh no no no! I messed up here in my notes. Well, they played against the Seahawks. No, no,
That's
they did
correct.
not.
Yep. That's
They
correct.
did.
Yep.
So okay, so he's from Arizona State. That's a university,
Yes, correct.
college.
Correct.
Okay, good. I was
You're
like,
good. You're good.
okay, so yeah, he's from Arizona State, and he had 105 yards against the Seahawks with 29 long. So he was drafted 91st and was third round for the 2022 draft.
Yep.
And yeah, I think he's a pretty good player. And there was a couple drives where you could see that formula working out with them. And I think him, Julio, and Brady were a little bit able to pull off a intimidating offense with
Yeah,
multiple or some
absolutely.
drives.
He's been unreal. He's definitely stepping into that role, and like their star running back, obviously for a little bit, has been Leonard Fournette, who, Leonard Fournette comes from the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he was definitely probably one of the stars in the declining Jaguars. Sorry, but yeah, it's Rashad White. He's definitely filling into that role, and yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
played an unbelievable game for sure. Absolutely. So no, that's a great one, Nicole. So I'm gonna go on a rant. Even
Okay.
like there's a lot to
Okay.
say with there's a lot to say with the Falcons game, but now this is where I'm getting a little bit ticked off. So, one of the plays that ended up happening, I'm not sure if you caught most of the game or not, but Marcus Mariota was going down, he was getting sacked, and he decided, like, in a last ditch effort to just throw the ball in the air. Okay? Just give it a Hail Mary and just hopefully it lands with somebody. And you know what? The issue with that,
Jackpot. Is
yeah,
this in
and
the red
why
zone?
no, it wasn't even in the
Okay.
red zone. There's no point. And if it was in the red zone, that would make a lot of sense. But my issue with that is why are you doing that? Number one, like it makes no sense. And I'm at the point now where I'm questioning, and I have been for a little bit, why is not Desmond Ritter playing? And this is where I'm getting a little bit confused because,
Oh.
I think it's more so of a scenario where Arthur Smith just likes his guy that's from Tennessee, and that's
Mhm.
fine. I get it. You like your players. You want to take your players with you. That's part of the reason why a whole bunch of the Tennessee Titans have been drafted over to the Falcons or been traded to the Falcons, right? But the thing is Desmond Ritter can do everything right now that Marcus Mariota can do. And that's my issue is
Mhm.
there's not really an argument to be made that Marcus Mariota, he has more time in the NFL, and yeah, he's sat behind some quarterbacks. That's great and everything, but the big thing that Marcus Mariota has going for him is that he's a mobile quarterback. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to completely shoot him down because there's definitely been some games that he's won. Like it's nice to have a mobile quarterback, especially when we had Matt Ryan, who wasn't mobile. And it's nice to see a little bit of a different change of pace for sure. But Desmond Ritter's also young. He did well in Cincinnati, and he can run the ball. He's agile. He's fast. And I would put any amount of money down that he's got a better arm. Honestly, at this point, he's going to throw far. Marcus Mariota can throw. It's been proven, but he's not accurate. He's missed a whole bunch of throws. So at this point, sure, I can say, going into the Bears game, if you want to start Mariota, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But if we lose that game, and the question still is our passing game, which it is a lackluster passing game right now, unfortunately, especially considering we have two very good top weapons with Kyle Pitts and Drake London.
Right.
At that point, in my opinion, there is nothing really that you can lose more if you throw Desmond Ridder in. And at the very least, if you throw Desmond Ridder in and he's not the answer, you know where your quarterbacks stand, right? So I don't know.
Better position than what the Saints are in for our quarterback position. Honestly, being a sassy person right now and being like, you guys are in a better spot than us. What do you have to say? You guys got better quarterbacks. How many turnovers do you have?
We're still not. That's the one thing that I can say that has been a little bit better. Like, our defense still has some holes, but we've definitely played some better defense than what I've seen in the last couple of years. So that's at least a little bit of a nice change of pace. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough to be said, in my opinion. At this point, I don't see why Desmond Ridder is not playing. I really don't. And it's tough. It's tough. And it doesn't make any sense to me. I'll be quite honest with you.
We're all having QB issues here in the NFC South, except for maybe, even I guess the Panthers were going back and forth a couple times, right?
They don't have
Walker.
They don't have a quarterback. You see, and that's the thing too, is you see Baker Mayfield standing on the sideline with a clipboard and papers and trying to study plays and stuff like that. Here's the thing, man, is honestly, he's a number one draft pick, literally first overall draft pick. So, he's already left Cleveland. He hasn't been showing up in Carolina, and I will take with a grain of salt, sure, that, he is, there's a lot of changes going around, and that could potentially maybe be a coaching thing in Carolina, considering they're very much in disarray right now. But Carolina Panthers don't have their quarterback either. To be quite honest with you, going into 2023, I can't honestly say that any of our teams have our starting quarterback right now.
Well, I know I just found out also too that Tom Brady is on a 1-year contract.
That's right.
But he also has another contract going forward with the other thing. But who's to say that's the future? Futures can change.
So as it stands right now, and again, this could change absolutely, right? But the number one, or the top two free agents currently right now going in, to free agency, as it stands right now, is Lamar Jackson, number one.
Oh, yes!
And Tom Brady, number two.
Yes, I have them on my list, actually. I have a list.
Yeah.
A different list. I have so many lists.
Oh, I like it. You're a list person. That's totally fine. But yeah, no, it's insane because you look at some of these quarterbacks, right? Lamar Jackson's a very different story, and I give him all the credit. Holding out on a contract, trying to get the money that he deserves. And not only that, sometimes when players do that, it's funny because they have terrible seasons, right? Lamar is not having that. He's putting up points and he's showing that he deserves to get paid. So, I don't know if he stays in Baltimore, but even Tom Brady being the age that he is right now, right? He could easily go fill in for a year on a third team and definitely make them a contender. It would not be much. You can plug him into like Miami. You could plug him into Philly. You could plug him into, oh my God, just thinking off the top of my head.
I know he'd probably never come over to the Saints.
Well, you never know, right? Like, I don't know if
I
they.
just think personally, I don't think he would.
Well, honestly, you never know though. Like
Yeah.
he could go to a team like you look at the Colts. He could go to the Colts, right? He could go to the Broncos, even though it's probably unlikely, right?
Or the CFL.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. There's been talk about that. You know what? I wonder if there's any actual traction to that, though. That's what I want to know, because that would be sick to see Tom Brady play in the CFL.
I first saw it on like one feed, and then I was like, ha ha ha. And then I
That's
saw
not
it on like
exactly.
ESPCN or SBCN, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, are they? I'm like, is this actually like gaining traction? Is this actually what he
Yeah.
said?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, but I don't see that
That'd
happening.
be
I don't know.
cool.
It's sure, even if you said it, like he does realize how much CFL players get paid, right? Like, I don't even think we have like
Yeah.
many players, if any, getting paid $1 million a year. I don't think
It's
that.
gonna be his retirement. Like, he's
Well,
got
maybe.
enough. It's just be in retirement, just having fun,
Yeah, maybe
playing and
potentially for
understanding a
sure.
different game.
But I guess with that being said, Tom Brady. So yeah, like you kind of touched on it a little bit with the Bucks win in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, from looking back at some of the highlights, the run game looked a lot better, and that's pretty good coming from the Bucks. I know there's been some improvement for sure on their passing yards. Like their passing yards haven't been too terrible. Hey, Mr. Handy, how's it going, buddy? Nice to see you in here. But yeah, it's been nice. I know even Alec, he said a little bit earlier, I didn't know this was Tom Brady's single. I still don't know. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, again, I have seen, especially the Bucks, a lot of their games in the last few years, and I still think that this isn't that great of a Bucks team. Regardless, they beat a very good team, and I'm not going to take that away from them. And their running game looked a lot better for sure. And they definitely are rated to win the division for sure, by any means. Like, you have Tom Brady on your team. It's hard to look past that. But at the same time, minus last week, the Falcons have looked like, they could win the division. The Saints have looked like they can win the division. The Panthers have looked like they can win the division. Honestly, like,
Tom Brady does, though, what Tom Brady does in
yeah.
taking points and doing it in the fourth quarter, producing in
Well,
the fourth quarter.
and that's the thing, right? Is yeah, absolutely. Like, you want your guy, especially a guy like Tom Brady, like he's clutch when it comes to time, right? And it comes time to try and win the game in the last drive. Like, he has been in that position so many times. He's familiar with it, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
no, that's unreal. And kudos to the Bucks, 21-16. Yeah, you know what? Regardless of if it's a win or not, I'm not going to go and change the fact that I still think that division is going to come down to the very, very last game of the season.
My favorite part of it was I did watch it waking up in the morning at halftime. And I'm not that like play remember kind of person yet to
Yeah.
know. Like, but I'm like, I remember them, the guy's like, okay, so the crowd's not going home. They're just staying there. And I guess they were all just kind of, they had a really good game. Obviously, the fans enjoyed it. And they were like, still not phased that the game was over.
Yeah, well, they were also serving pitchers of beer.
Oh,
In all
okay.
fairness,
Okay.
so a lot of them are probably hammered, and we're like, we're not leaving, we're partying, man. Like, we got the NFL here, we're ready to go.
I guess they were used to those long soccer games.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, and that's another thing too. The World Cup coming up, so that's yeah, it's crazy. It's a good time for sports for sure. But yeah, no, Nicole, it's well, I'm hoping for a better next week. That's all I can really hope for. But
Yes.
let's go to our favorite segment, Discoveries.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So what's your discovery this week, Nicole?
Well, I've been talking about it for weeks. As I've been learning, and I'm like, I'm going to get to the root of this problem that I found out is sanctioned. It's a sanctioned problem for us to have that adds more football strategy to the game, and it's salary caps.
Okay.
So this speaks into, like you were saying, about the 1 year contracts and the free agents and stuff. So I kind of did a little bit of digging, not too much, but there is essentially there's a league revenue, and the whole entire league has a revenue, and then you times that and multiply it by the last year's collective bargaining agreement.
Okay.
So I guess there is a collective bargaining agreement that
There is, yeah.
they have, which is kind of cool. And then you have to minus the benefits, cost of benefits from that, and then you divide that by 32 teams.
Okay.
I'm bringing always the math. And that's how you get a salary cap.
Okay.
So it first came into effect in 1994 and was the first was only 34.6 million, but as it's since increased to 182.5 million in 2021, and actually 2021 was the first ever time that actually did dip down, and that was due to the COVID and stuff. So it's kind of interesting to see. So the teams, they have to stay under the cap that's put out for them, but they also have to stay above the minimum, which is 90% of the cap.
Nice.
So cutting players is how they go under the cap, but sometimes they seem good, because I found out that there's players, that you have to pay. And that also, too, if you go under in the league, did you know that there's fines?
Yep.
They give out fines for that and
Absolutely.
cancel contracts. And you could even lose a draft pick.
Yep. I believe that's happened to Miami actually in the past.
So, yeah, salary caps. That's how it's kind of run and regulated. And I looked up, and there's some quarterbacks, I guess, that we could, I didn't know that they're on a 1 year contract, and that includes Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
From someplace.
Baker
Carolina
Mayfield
Panthers.
he was from Cleveland, got traded to Carolina.
Sam Darnold.
Also on Carolina, was traded from the New York Jets.
Oh. Daniel Jones. And so there's Tom Brady and Lamar Jackson. And it's weird to say that they have their value posted, which is kind of like weird on a sense of, like, I guess, how they fit into a salary cap and if it's possible. But yeah, they get rated. And I don't know how that works, but Tom Brady was at 15 million. Yep. And then Lamar Jackson's at like around under 10 million.
So Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady are both in their final years of their contract, essentially, is what it is. Mm-hmm. And the reason why it's posted is you've seen some of these quarterbacks have like outrageous signings. Like, you look at Patrick Mahomes, you look at what happened with Josh Allen and stuff. And when you see contracts like that come into effect for these quarterbacks, that, don't get me wrong, like, I'm not taking anything away from them. They're very talented, absolutely, right? But, you look at also, for example, Lamar Jackson, and this is like a good segue to that, actually, is that the reason why he's been holding out is he's seeing these contracts happen, and he's like, well, why am I not being offered this? You know what I mean? At the very least, I am your franchise player. He hasn't been tagged yet with Baltimore, which actually could be a possibility that could play into effect if he'll stay in Baltimore or not. But, these players want to get paid, and, sports that you can, like, take or give credit to for that would be, baseball and basketball with those absolutely outrageous contracts. And, like, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. Like, you see people getting paid, millions a year. I wouldn't be surprised in like 30 years if like a player gets paid like $1 billion a year. You know what I mean? Something outrageous.
I mean, they do keep inflation.
That's what I mean. Like, I wouldn't even be the slightest bit shocked if something like that were to happen. But no, that's absolutely what's happening, like in Lamar Jackson's case. But now you look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady isn't doing it for the money, okay? So this is where the salary cap can get a little bit weird. Tom Brady is more interested in solidifying himself as the GOAT, because as of right now, and this is just speculation, this is no factual information, this is no insider talk, but no quarterback has ever won three rings with three different teams. There's been a few quarterbacks, a very short list, that have won 2 rings with 2 different teams, right? But Tom Brady, which very, very likely could be the scenario, he could be the first to go and win a ring with a third team. And at that point, and this is kind of where again, my opinion, he's going to leave the Bucs this season. He'll be out of our division. And what he's going to do is he's going to go to a team, sign maybe a 2-year contract at most. He'll play. He'll attempt to win a ring. If he wins a ring in the first year, he'll retire. I think that's what's going to happen. And the thing is that's nice about it is Tom Brady's not looking to screw over a team or anything like that. Tom Brady, he just again, he wants to set his future and stuff like that. And whatever he does, he'll make sure that he doesn't destroy their salary cap. So
how do you tell the greatest to have ever played to just stop if they don't want to stop?
My opinion, right, is I give all the credit to Tom Brady. Him and Gisele's situation of what happened and what's transpired, right? That's none of my business, right? Like, their relationship is their relationship, just like my relationship is my relationship and yours is yours, right? So the thing is, though, is my opinion is it's kind of a catch-22 in a weird way, right? Because you see, you see, a family falling apart, right? And you're like, well, why, Tom, why are you playing still in your final year of your contract, right? And is this really worth it when you're that close to ending your career? Is it really, that important to you that you want to break up your family? I don't know, right? I have no idea. But at the same time, as a catch-22, Gisele knew what Tom was, right? So it's tough. It's why? Well, he is a quarterback. That's what he's been doing. That's been his dream forever. So why are you now taking that away from him, right? I don't know personally, but yeah, it's tough to see. It's tough to see. But yeah,
they won. It'll be good. I think he'll be that sticky glue that will always, pull his heartstrings and the NFL. How could you not stop playing?
Well, it's exactly it. And the thing is, too, is, he, with all the debate that he was going to retire this season and everything, he wasn't going to destroy the Bucs cap space. He was going to do it in a way that he wasn't going to impact their cap. And I think that's awesome, right? He's a player that, cares about the franchises that he's playing for. Even with him playing for the Buccaneers, he's been, very involved with the community and everything like that. Tom Brady very much is a good stand-up citizen for sure. And he's, a very recognizable player in that sense. Right. So all the respect to him, and no, Alec, I do not hope that the Bucs go down by any means. I'll say it right now. I have no hate for the Bucs. I think that there's a lot more potential that is there. They have a lot of talent, but the cylinders aren't firing off correctly, honestly. And seeing the Bucs and how they are and stuff, they should be playing a lot better than what they're playing right now. And that's the thing, right? And the fact is there's just so much disarray. There's so much confusion going on with the Bucs that I don't know. Don't get me wrong. The way I look at it, and Nicole, you can correct me if I'm wrong. The Bucs should be better, but they're not. The Falcons,
I think we should all be better.
Well, that's what I mean. The Falcons should be worse.
We can do better.
Yeah, but they'll the Falcons are doing better than what I even thought, right? So that's what I mean.
There's a lot of divisions that I wish that we, could have that spot, because I would love it. I would love it if there was a couple wild cards where we all got it, But I don't know technicalities, Still learning that next discovery, but
Yeah. You got
we,
lots of future discoveries for sure, right? No,
yeah, I do.
I think like the Bucks are for sure like them winning the Super Bowl last year as a wild card spot was like it's happened before for sure, but it's not too common. So,
Mhm.
but
Good.
anyways, that's yeah, that was great. I like that. So our week projections for I believe this
Yes.
is what week 12, I think, coming into it. So we're actually getting
Yes.
close to the end of the season too, which is pretty crazy to think about. So now you're going to see some teams mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, and that potentially actually might happen during my game. So the Falcons are playing the Bears, and the Falcons can end the playoff hopes for the Bears this game. I'm not saying that's the sole reason of what will happen, but the Bears need to
The
win this game.
projectile will go down a little bit.
Yeah. They're like basically
It's
like
still
for the
possible.
Bears to go to the playoffs right now, they would need a lot more wins than what they currently have right now. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not just going to be one win for them to go to the playoffs, but um, if they don't win this, like, there's a very low probability that they will go to the playoffs. So, right now, going into that game, we are 3-point favorites right now. The Bears are very good at the rushing game for sure. There are some key players that are going to be out during the Bears game with Khalil Herbert. That's a huge loss, right?
Hmm.
And we're actually getting some players back with AJ Terrell and Eric Harris, our safety. So that's really good to see. And our
It is
cornerback
good.
is back too. So I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, I don't know. I think the key to us winning this game, to be quite honest with you, is just going to be more so of us running the ball. And to put it just blank, Marcus Mariota having smart plays, right?
That's a good way
That's
to
what I
put
think
it.
needs to happen.
That's very nice. That's
Yeah,
very
it's
nice.
just if you're gonna throw the ball, throw it with confidence, throw it with accuracy,
2
and
feet.
yeah, exactly. And run the ball when you can run the ball. That's what you want to do. That's the key to winning this game. I think Falcons do win 20-17. It's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be close, especially with Justin Herbert. I'm not sorry, not Justin Herbert. Justin Fields doing as good as he's been doing lately, which has been awesome. He's showing, in my opinion, that he is the best quarterback to come out of that QB draft class. So it's good to see. But, and this is a big but, if the Falcons lose this game, like if they do, then I think what should happen is I think that Desmond Ridder should start. This game in particular. If we lose
That's
this
how it
game,
all starts, my friend.
well, yeah, so yeah, I really think. And Alec, to answer your question, should I throw $25 on the Oilers tonight? Who do the Oilers play tonight, Nicole? Do you know?
Oh, actually, I learned this. It's the Knights, the Vegas people.
The Vegas Knights. Now I'm not telling you how people should
home.
bet, but Alec, no, I do not think you should bet $25 on the Oilers tonight. Nicole?
I think you should bet 100 hugs.
Okay. So Nicole thinks you should bet 100 hugs. So if that's an option and you can put that on wherever you're betting, whether it's BetSnap or FanDuel, again, we're not licensed to go and advertise these guys, but I'm just saying wherever you choose to bet, yeah, man, bet 100 hugs. So there you go. But Nicole, what's your projection?
My projection is, okay, this is where my list comes in.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not doing too good. We're 3-7, people. People of the world, we're 3-7. Coming to you as a sad Saints fan.
Yep.
But we need to get. There was a list that I have some things about. Dennis Allen.
Okay.
We need to get back into the defensive coordinator. We need a new coach. I think we need a new rookie. I think we need to let go of some people on IR, which of Michael Thomas. I think because of salary cap,
I agree.
we can do that away. Get some new rookies in because I feel like we got already some good something boiling in the pot.
Okay.
Some good seasoning, like with Olave oil. We're cooking over here, and I think a lot of good rookies, and we're in rebuild. I mean, remodeling. We need to use Taysom Hill 10 times more than what we have. We need to get down on our penalties, which I've talked about previously before. We need to cut, and we need to find a new QB. We need to. I want to see something else. I don't know. I love them and I wish them well, but they're not meant. I don't know. Whether you can stay, I'm a down fan either way. Okay.
Yep.
This is how I feel right now. And we take on the Rams. They're 3-6. We're tied with the Panthers. We're in the bottom. And we're also missing two key starters from Eric McCoy, which is center, and the left guard, Angus Pete. And we lost him, putting him in worrisome for week 11 against them. So.
Oh, it's week 11 next week. Is that what week it is? Or is it week 12?
No, because no. 7-3. We're on week 11 next week.
Okay, yeah. So that's my apologies. It is week 11 then. That's right. Either way, we are still over the midway point. Like we're gearing up towards the end.
Depending, they could hit the field without 3 of their starting 5 offensive linemen.
Fair. So
against the LA Rams defense.
But the LA Rams honestly have not looked great.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said about that.
I never want to say we lose, but I'm not going to say we lose. I think it's going to be 24-25.
Ooh, that's going to be a close one. So I want us to do something here. This wasn't anything planned by any means. I want you to tell me, from an unbiased opinion, what the Falcons need, and I will tell you, from an unbiased opinion, what the Saints need to succeed.
Okay.
Like, whether you get rid of players, get rid of coaches, or anything like that. Like, what you think, like, players need to get fired, players need to get dropped.
Okay. All right. Unbiased opinion. I like Mariota. I like to see him more. I think they should practice target throwing him with some bulls and some cows.
Okay.
Because then he'll learn how to stay on his feet, but get more mobile. I do like him. And then I think your wide receivers are pretty good. And your kicker, I think you guys could get a new kicker.
Really? You don't like Young Wei Koo?
I did like him last week, but this is how I feel right now.
Yeah, fair.
But for playoffs, I would say keep him, but I'd also say, like, teach someone else. I think you guys don't have a coaching problem as much as we do, and the Panthers going on in that kind of sense. And you don't have as much pressure as the Bucs QB. So, like, that's what I mean is I do like Mariota for you guys. So I think he's the key.
Okay. I like that. I like that. So for you, for the Saints, unbiased opinion, I think absolutely gut your quarterback pool. I think you got your quarterback pool. I think you have to trade Michael Thomas for whatever you can get for him, even if it's a second round pick. I also am going to say that I think you need to trade Kamara. And the reason why you need to trade Kamara is you need to trade him for a first round pick. If you can get a first round pick for Kamara, because as it stands right now, the Saints do not have a first round pick. So that's an issue.
Yep.
And I think what you do for the team is you build around Chris Olave. You build around what's your star defense? Your star defender's name again? Oh my God, I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Cam Jordan.
Huh? Yeah, Cam Jordan. You keep Cam Jordan there. Yeah. You still have like a decent offensive line. You can still bolster that up, but at the same time, I think what they should do is they should do that. I also think that they should clean house too. I think that's kind of coming down the line. The Saints, I know Peyton's gone, but that was gone by choice. He wasn't fired. I think you got the whole organization. You bring in who you think the guy is going to be, somebody that's an up-and-comer or whatever, because Dennis Allen clearly isn't the key. And then I think at that point, you start building that way.
What if we brought back Drew Brees as the head coach?
Yeah, you know what? Hey, you know what?
Anything can happen. A broken dream.
But you never know. Honestly, you never know. With how things have been going, like especially this year in the NFL, it's been absolutely insane. It really
that would be as much hype as Tom Brady coming to the Bucs.
Yeah. Okay, before we go, last thing.
Yeah.
What's your bold prediction? Your bold prediction, what you think is going to happen, like from now to the end of the season. You could say it doesn't have to be about your Saints or anything, whether it's a trade, a coaching fire, anything. What is your big, bold prediction by the end of the year?
By the end of the year?
Yeah.
I think some things are going to come to light. And obviously, this is an easy prediction, but there's going to be obviously some NFL rule changes.
Oh, okay.
I'm going a little bit in that area for I think where maybe the rules might change a little bit into making it a little bit more different of the game. Could be with a little bit more of the offensive penalties and
Yeah.
what may concur. That's
Okay.
my guess.
And that's your bold prediction. I like
Yeah,
that.
very wide, very out of range, but that's what I
No,
feel.
that's fine. That's totally fine. My bold prediction. Okay. My bold prediction that I'm gonna say right now. Um, where do I want to go with this? I can make a few right now. Do I want to go with coaches? Do I want to go with wins? Okay. So I'm gonna say right now that the Philadelphia Eagles are gonna get knocked out their first game they play. Even if it looks like they're gonna win their division, but
Oh, that's a good one.
I think they're gonna get knocked out right first game. That's my bold prediction. I'll bring in Ben just to give his bold prediction.
You heard it here first. Oh, Ben.
Ben, we're about to sign off, but I'm gonna ask you one question, okay?
Okay, go ahead, guys.
I want your bold prediction of what you think is going to happen at the end of the year, like from now to the end of the year. It could be from coaching changes, it could be from free agency trades. Like, what do you think is going to happen? So Nicole's just to go over. Nicole thinks there's going to be big rule changes for the offense. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to get knocked out on their first game. What is your bold prediction?
I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to win the Super Bowl.
Wow. Stop it. Don't.
Kidding.
Don't.
That's not
I want a real bold prediction, Ben. All right?
You heard it here, folks. This is world premiere news.
Ben's saying it.
We call that a joke, okay?
Okay.
A bold prediction.
Knock on wood.
Okay, first of all, before I give it out, I just want to apologize for being late. I just got off work a little while ago. Yeah, it's been tough, man, lately. But okay, bold prediction, Nicole and Kyle. Wow. I think the New York Jets are going to win a playoff game.
Oh, do you know what's funny? You mentioned that.
Yes.
Actually, I was a toss-up. I was actually going to say, and I'm not even BSing right now, that the New York Jets are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not even BSing you. That's literally what I was debating of going.
Ooh.
But there's something about those Jets this year. And it's funny because I think do the Buccaneers play the Jets soon?
No,
they don't. Hey, so the Jets are so the Jets aren't normal Jets this year. I'm just gonna say that right
now. Here's the thing. I there's just something about that defense that keeps them in games. Now, Zach Wilson has to play a little better, and he's gotten better, each game. And that's what it's going to come down to is the offense, because the defense, Robert Saleh is a defensive guy. He was with the 49ers before he came to the Jets. So he's got that defense going, but now can the offense step up? I mean, look at the draft. I mean, Sauce Gardner may be not only the rookie of the year, but one of the best.
I wanted him so bad.
I know. He was. I mean, he's like the next Darrelle Revis, over there in New York. So, but offensively, if they can just keep up with that defense, I mean, they beat the Bills, guys. They beat the Buffalo Bills 2 weeks ago.
That's
and
insane.
and they got to go to New England now, where they've lost like so many games in a row to Bill Belichick. I got a feeling, this is a prediction for this weekend. I think the Jets are finally going to end that streak and beat New England in Foxborough this weekend. So it's kind of a bold prediction. I think the Jets will not only make the playoffs, but win a playoff game.
I love it. Well, Ben, thank you so much for stopping in. I appreciate you, even if it was short-lived. Hopefully we can see more of you in the future. I think that's it basically for tonight, guys. So Thank you so
Ben.
much.
Well, thank you.
And let's have a good night.
All right, guys. Take care, okay?
Okay, bye.